Hey guys, welcome back. So I have another design team project for Zuri, and today I am working on a 12 by 12 canvas, and we're going to get into it. I'm going to start with some Liquitex clear gesso, and I'm just going to gesso the edges of this canvas because the majority of the canvas I'm going to cover with a piece of 12 by 12 scrapbook paper. Because if you guys remember, at the beginning of the year, I swore I was going to be using my supplies in my studio. I was going to use my stash, and I'm bound and determined to use it. Even if it's one piece of scrapbook paper at a time, I'm going to use it. So here it is. I couldn't even tell you. Maybe it's recollections. I don't know. I took my Tim Holtz paper scraper de-stressor tool and distress the edges, and I'm going to use my Violin magic mold. Excuse me. I casted this mold with amazing casting resin from Alumilite, and I just covered that with the clear gesso, and the Violin Magic mold is available on Zuri's website. I will have a link in the description box below, and as well as a link for Alumilite's resin, which that is an affiliate link for me, as well as a coupon code. As you all know, affiliate links are cost you guys no extra, but I get a little cut, which is wonderful, and it's greatly appreciated. Anyway, back to it. I covered the back of the scrapbook paper, which this one is like super duper thick, super heavy. So I covered it with double-sided adhesive, and I'm attaching it to the canvas. And I'm taking my bone folder and just making sure it's attached pretty good. And then I'm going to curl up the edges a little bit because I wanted some of the canvas to show. The scrapbook, the background, the page itself looks a little distressed, so I wanted to add to it. I did wet some of the curled edges, which kind of helps curl the paper a little more without actually tearing it. It still kind of holds its grit, but it will help the paper roll as opposed to tearing. Which is pretty cool. So I'm just going to go around and curl some of the edges. And then I'm going to take the clear gesso and cover the entire piece. I thought I was going to add some paint over top. I don't know what I was thinking. Why I even covered it in gesso. I have no idea. It's like legit a whole background. So why the hell I would even put gesso over it, I have no idea. So now we're going to go in with some liquid acrylics in True Yellow and Carmine. These are from Finnabair. And I'm going to paint the hell out of this violin. And honest to God, like I probably spent 45 minutes painting this violin back and forth with colors. So I was inspired by the colors of the birds in the cage from that scrapbook paper in the top right hand corner. I think there was so much blue in the paper that I wanted that pop of yellow, and so that's where I got the yellow from, but this was like so much yellow. And then like at the bottom of the cage, there's like a pinkish reddish color that I was pulling inspiration from. And the Carmine is like super crazy red. So that wasn't cutting it. So then I went in with magenta, which is like crazy hot pink. But mixed with the Carmine, it really gave me that pinkish color that I was going for. But the yellow was still like in your face, like canary big bird yellow. So we're going to have to fix that in a minute. I ended up going with some Tiger Orange, which I think the Tiger Orange out of all of Finn's liquid acrylics is like my freaking favorite color ever. No matter what project I'm doing, like hands down, this is my favorite liquid acrylic of hers ever. So this just like added what I needed. It really did. But you can still see that it's like fire bright. Definitely not toned down like the background paper. So I'm going to dry brush the hell out of it with some white gesso, which is going to tone back those colors like crazy. Dry brushing is like super old school technique, but I love it. I really do, because you still get the color that you wanted. You still get those colors that you were going for, but they're just knocked back. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not, they're not so intense. They're not so in your face. I still got the look that I was going for. Plus it brings out, when you dry brush, it really brings out highlights and details that you might have lost when you have solid color. So I really like that. I'm going in with some Dina Wakley Media in Umber. I'm just going to water that down a little bit because some of her paints are kind of thick. Some of them are, not all of them. So I'm just going to go around the edges of the canvas and paint them up just so I don't have a stark border. I always like to finish my canvases off by painting the edges of them, and then also where I curled the paper up, I'm going to take a smaller paintbrush and paint the umber in there as well, just to make it look like I painted the whole canvas. And really, we cheated and didn't. Like, we're just painting the edge there. That's why I only gessoed the edge earlier, because I knew I wasn't going to be painting the whole thing. Why waste supplies when you don't have to, right? Like, why? It's pointless. So I'm just going to go around the edges and paint them up just to give it a little more of a finished look around the edge of the canvas. Let's see. I'm trying to play catch up because there's a couple more new Zuri molds coming out, and my design team box should be coming very, very soon. So I really have to play catch up and knock out these projects. And I'm trying to film them for you guys because, I suck and I haven't been making videos like I said I would be, and I've really been slacking. But being busy is no excuse. I just suck. That's, I love you guys, but I suck. So I have some chipboard, creative embellishments chipboard that I just added some Distress Oxide in Vintage Photo, and I dropped it after I put Fabri-Tac on it. And I have these little pearl, beads from Finnabair. They're so freaking old, I don't even know what they're called anymore. So where the glue oozes out, I use these to cover it up. That's like my go-to trick. So I had my composition laid out, and again, I took inspiration from the different colors around the scrapbook paper, and the yellows and the blues and the browns, and you can see I was really heavy-handed with the glue there. And there's a train coming while I'm doing this voiceover, and if the horn blows, I'm sorry in advance. So I added some chipboard pieces, MDF board pieces on the back of my violin just to pop it up off the canvas a little bit so there was some more dimension. And then I have some miscellaneous flowers. Some are Recollection, some are Prima. I couldn't even tell you. Some are Little Birdie. I just have a whole bunch of flowers that I grabbed. Again, pulling from the colors from the background paper. Without adding too much color. So I have some distress ink and some distress stain in chipped sapphire. Wow. And vintage photo, distress ink in vintage photo, and distress stain in chipped sapphire. And those curled edges on the paper were still pretty stark white, so I'm just going to, pretty rough actually, just go around the edges and ink them up just to give them a little more of a finishing touch. And the chipped sapphire is where I tied in some of the blues from the background paper, the scrapbook paper, and in the pink and the flowers from the pink in the bird cage, and the yellow and the blue from the bird's nest and the birds. And yeah, it's a little softer than my norm, but I really liked it. All right, now back to the old dry brush technique. Everything in my composition, because it's fresh, it looks too new. So we have to distress it. We have to knock it back. And how do we do that? We do that with the dry brush technique. And so I'm going to take my gesso and I'm going to dry brush the hell out of it. And it looks pretty stark white, but again, with gesso, it dries lighter than it looks when you first put it down. So I wasn't too worried about that. I just went over the flowers and the chipboards, and then I did go over the violin some more, and then I did go over the whole background. I got a little extra up top there, and I didn't want it there, but it's whatever. I did do some light dry brushing in the background just to tie it all in together. And I think that's it. I don't know. You know me, as soon as we get to the end of the video, I'm going to be like, oh yeah, that's it. And then there's going to be something else that I did. And I'm going to be like, oh yeah, I thought we were done. So yeah, I am going to finish editing this video, finish the voiceover and whatnot, and I have another project in the works. Hopefully I can get that one filmed and edited and get that one up for you guys. Yeah, oh my gosh, I was so right. Finally, I remembered the last step. So yeah, that's it. I will have links for you guys in the description box below. Oh, I love that violin. I do. And I really, really, really love how dry brushing really just knocked those colors back, but highlighted all those amazing details in that mold. It's in that casting. Like, it's absolutely insane what Zuri's molds, how much detail is in those molds. It's insane. And just something as simple as a dry brush technique can bring them out like craziness. So yeah. Okay, I will catch you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure to hit that like button. Thanks, guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.